Did I tell you I got rid of my PS3?
Not surprising. I have no reason to go back to mine now. I think about going back to some old games, but
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say, it's getting harder to. So we're here. So let's just talk about it. Hi, I'm Scott. That one's Mark. Blah blah. Ramble Entertainment. Blah blah. It's getting harder to like go back in generations to play older games.
It is.
If the game is remastered and like on my Vita or on the PS4, I'll consider it and probably do it. I did that with some of the older Final Fantasies. But yeah,
Going back to old consoles, it is tough.
It's interesting, to say the least. I had no issue doing that with Minecraft, but now that Minecraft is on the PS4 and has greater draw distance, there's absolutely no reason for that with Minecraft. I can't think of anything I want to do that with.
I've tried it with a number of games. I've tried it. I think one of the first times it was Siphon Filter 2 was one of my favorite games on PS2. I think it was PS2 or was it PlayStation 1? I don't remember.
I think you had it on PS3. We were playing Modern Warfare 2. And
I had downloaded it. And it wasn't like a remaster or anything like that. It was just like...
It was one of those classics, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I tried playing it. I'm like, nope. Polygon count too small for me.
I don't think it's just the polygon count either. It's kind of the lack of widescreen, too. Like, for some reason, that has an effect on me. Like, even watching some older shows in a 4:3 ratio, it's just not as easy on the eyes.
Yeah, and the gameplay, at least on Siphon Filter, when I was trying it, was like really wonky, you know. And I had played other like third-person, first-person shooters like a ton more after Siphon Filter, and like the controls were just like, what were they thinking?
This kind of comes back. So like some people have been bringing this up with VR coming out, that this is going to be another one of those periods where we have to reprogram our brains. The same thing happened with analog sticks and, just controllers in general, where it was just like, we have to tell our brains how to function with this game. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take games iterating on this to figure out, how much does this come into play, and how's it going to work, and what's going to be done with that right stick, and et cetera, et cetera.
I just found it bizarre that, arcades all started out with a joystick, and then for some reason we got away from that for a long time, and then it came back.
Well, technically an analog stick is definitely not a joystick, because a joystick took a lot more of the hand, where an analog stick is just this.
I think just like the motions, like being able to do like 360 moves with it, kind of like a lever, and then we went to like the D-pad, and then we got that kind of 360 lever action back. Just kind of weird to me.
Well, I mean, the D-pad.
I'm sure there's a reason for it.
The D-pad did kind of get almost joystick-like because.
Right.
Yeah, became able to move in multiple directions. Granted, that was not very accurate, which is why people call this a bit of a potato. And so, I think, it was just kind of like that process where it's like you have this big box, and you have to try and cram that big box into this small box with a wire, and so, it was just part of that iterating process.
Right. Makes sense.
I can't help but wonder, bringing that up, about DVD movie reviews. No, I'm kidding. I can't help but the camera's partially in the way of the screen for me. Before we actually get into that, the actual ramble for the third ramble for this week.
This is a pre-ramble.
It's Ramble Entertainment. We're going to talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about. People don't watch us anyway. I can't help but wonder if we might possibly see dedicated controllers to VR experiences. They get rid of the third stick. Or the second stick. They add a third stick.
With our penises?
They add another 2, maybe 4 buttons. I don't know. People have said it, and I'm kind of starting to lean towards it as we get closer to what should be more of the core VR gaming experience, because PlayStation is in so many households, so many millions of PS4s sold, that it's probably going to sell a lot better than Oculus or Rift. So, or no, Oculus or Vive. That's it. Oculus Rift is a single one.
Yes.
HTC Vive is the other one. But time will tell. So let's go ahead and get into the Ramble proper.
Yes.
DVD movie previews. You brought this up.
Yeah. I think it was like sometime earlier this week. I put in technically it was a Blu-ray, but Blu-ray DVD were basically used interchangeably here. Put in a Blu-ray. It was Killing Them Softly, and just to kind of have it on the background while I did some other things. And I put it in the PlayStation, and it's just, you get previews. You get like 2 or 3 previews, and you get circumventing. I with this day and age of streaming and Netflix and just things being right there, right then, I can't think of something worse or more annoying than DVD movie previews and not being able to skipping over directly to the menu or to play the movie. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is, if you want to market another movie that your production company or a director or a writer has put out, there's another way to do it. And I've actually seen it on other Blu-rays. Like, you have like your Blu-ray menu where you set up your scenes, options, whatever. Put like little squares of previews up there. Like, I might even check it out that way. Like, oh, what's this movie about? I don't know. But if it's the same production team or same director, like, I will probably check it out. But I can't stand it when I put in a movie, and I've seen these previews more than once of these movies I haven't seen or don't want to see, and it's like plugging their own production company. Was it the Weinstein Company for Killing Them Softly? It's like the Weinstein Production Company presents or whatever. It's just like, I don't need to see your logo 3 times. I can't skip over your fucking logo, and I don't want to see these movie previews anymore. I've seen them 6 times. Like, it's just got to stop. Like, and I'm hoping they stop doing this, because it just makes me not want to watch or buy Blu-rays, because it's just super annoying when I can just, download it on Amazon or stream it on Netflix or something. There's just...
I'm hoping you take a breath so I can get a word in.
/rant.
I find this hard to disagree with, because I do feel similarly, but I also view it from the perspective that we are in this weird middle ground where companies want to make money off, their product, and they have every right to do that.
Absolutely.
Especially if we want them to be able to make more and better products. But at the same time, what do you do? So it's just like...
It just needs to evolve a little bit better. Like I said, have a movie preview in the menu, and that can actually work.
No, because you won't... It's... So there's a reason that, they're so long and you get so much from them, because it's basically like retail. Retail isn't really about selling products, it's about selling realty. You have this amount of space, and you try to fill the entire space with product. And so, the company goes out and, so some of it is their own product, and then some of it is other, companies' products. And it's just like... It's more iteration as opposed to evolution, and I feel like that would also be the same for if you got to the actual play screen and there was an ad or a preview running there as well. That would just be iteration as well. This is tough. This is, I think, going to be part of the process of movie theaters dying or slowly being whittled away as well. They need to find better ways to live on, if they choose to live on, or if they can even live on. And this is something they started, where it was just like, okay, previews worked before the movie, we'll put them on DVDs. But now DVDs are kind of the middle ground in between streaming and the movie theater. And it's just like, there does need to be... something in between.
Yeah.
Even if it's AMC, what if it was AMC weekly ticket, where like AMC has a streaming service and you pay for 1 week. You pay $20 and you get 1 week of whatever they're streaming. And some of it might even be time and date release of movies. Like brand new movies that come out into theater, and you pay $20 and you get that one movie, for $20, or $20 probably sounds like a lot. But at the same time, there's also that issue of you're selling one ticket per head. So you pay $20, you might have 8 heads in the room, to watch. So it's tough. And I do feel kind of bad for the theaters and, the people who have to be thinking about how to make this work, because a lot of people, like us, will sit here and just talk about this and be like, oh, it's so easy, just do it. And it's not. It's really not, because these large systems of movie theaters were put in place for a reason, and they're quite, more complex than we really give them credit for. And now audiences want that moved to their living rooms, but that is not an easy effort.
It's just... I can't say, like, I don't dislike movie previews in general. It's like
I don't either.
If I go to a theater, it's part of the experience. I like going to movie theaters, and I like to see some of the other previews. Things I haven't seen, or that might intrigue me if these sets of movies kind of align with what this movie I just paid for. To see that's fine. Like, I have no problem with that. But I think, this day and age with, our home entertainment being so accessible and easy and fluid with your Netflix and streaming, it's just like turn on your TV and turn on and boom, you're watching Pulp Fiction. But
that's not. So there's this that is a misconception where you can just turn on your TV and something you want is just there. No, it's something that is allowed and provided, which is actually a big distinction. So like here we're moving from gut reactions to what actually happens. So like Netflix doesn't just have everything or anything.
Right, they're licensed content.
Exactly. So like if I wanted to watch Cloverfield or 10 Cloverfield Lane, I can't. And in fact, those aren't on any streaming service without paying full price.
Cloverfield's actually on Amazon Prime.
It did move to Amazon Prime finally?
Did. Not the sequel, but regular Cloverfield is.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But still, I couldn't watch the sequel.
Right.
I can't just, bam, it's right there when I want it. No, I'd have to pay full price, which I do for, going and getting a DVD anyway. In fact, the DVD is probably cheaper. It's probably $5 cheaper.
It might be, actually. It depends on time of release, but I mean, it just...
And it also depends on what store and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But, I think there probably is a difference in pricing that can be accounted for. And yes, there's an argument for gas there. Spent to go to the store and time used and et cetera, et cetera. But, there are all these minute details where it's just like, people like to argue that, like, oh yeah, we just turn on our TVs and it's just there. It's not. Like, these are things that we get to select because we're allowed to, but not everything is, in fact, like, that it's probably like 40% of things that anybody would really want, whereas like the major like 60% is still hard to access.
I'm kind of wondering now, like these Blu-ray. I know my brain's waking up. Ha.
What was that?
Is that just a string of thoughts put together? What?
Oh my god! I gotta go talk to the internet about this.
I woke up today. What?
I was so before you Save the point. Save the point.
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
I was thinking about this and like how sick of gut reactions I'm getting, and like one of these days I am gonna snap at some random individual who's gonna be like standing, you know, like in line, and like they see something, and after 5 seconds of delineation, I don't know if I'm using that word properly, 5 seconds of thinking about it, they're gonna make a judgment, and I'm gonna turn around and be like, holy shit, you must be a professional. You must have studied this for years upon years before giving this detailed reaction. Thank you so much for sharing. Like,
they're either gonna cry or punch me in the face.
yeah, they'll probably punch me in the face, but still, like, I'm like, I'm getting so sick of like these instant, like, I thought about this for 5 seconds, here's my opinion. I couldn't really give it much more thought because my time is so important.
You know what's more fun is when their opinion's wrong.
Oh, you're getting cloudy. Anyway,
no.
Go on.
No, like gut reactions and seeing it in public. I was eating a salad at Whole Foods the other day. It was Friday, actually, trying to be healthy. And like right where you turn out, you have to turn right. Like there's a sign that says right turn only. Like out of this, it's kind of out of the parking lot. You have to kind of go back to the back of the parking lot to exit. I'm not gonna say where it is. I'm learning. Anyways,
thank you.
And this,
I mean, you can go back to most of our videos to find out where we live.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But basically, you kind of have to do a giant U-turn to wholly leave this parking lot, which isn't a big deal. But apparently, this truck thought it was a huge deal because he was like, there was a line of cars, and this truck was in this right
now
turn
semi
lane,
or
no, okay. Like a Ford F-150, and like turned left and cut off another car. But the car like just kept going because obviously there's actually a little.
So they crashed into the truck?
No, but the truck rolled down his window. Was like, "What? You're not gonna let me fucking go? What the fuck is wrong with you?" I want to like walk up truck like, "Dude, that was a right turn only. You just turned left at. Shut the fuck up." But I didn't because I was eating.
Oh man, yeah, like that's another thing. You can just kind of tell as drivers, like they actually recently came out with a statistic that drivers are getting worse. Like people are getting worse road rage and being more offensive drivers. And like one guy, like technically the rage was on me here, but like this one guy, like. Was behind me for this long stretch of road and was at a very nice distance. And I think maybe it was because I drive a pretty decent sports car, and I think it was a kid, and I think they had a rice burner, and and for those who don't know what I'm referring to, basically it's like a small Japanese car with a big muffler on it that sounds like and
a spoiler the size of a whale's tail.
And we get up to my this small town I live near, and it's
Come on.
Sorry. This guy messaged me, and it really changed my train of thought. And then he just decides to like ride my ass, and it's just like, what's the point of that? Like,
yeah.
Like, what are you doing? Like, one, is 35 in here. Like, two...
If he wants to go 45, he can calmly pass you up.
Yeah, and happily I turned off to go to a Pokestop. But still, like, I could even just feel it where it was just like, oh, that was so pointless. And... Yeah. It's one of those moments where you want to get out of your, like, stop and get out of your car and be like, do you want to get in? Like, because it's just, clearly you're so close that you're really trying hard. To, like, you could just hop out of your car and jump onto my car and just jump through one of the windows. Like, it's just like, yes. People are dumb.
People are dumb. But we digress. Back to DVD movie previews.
Movie previews are dumb. You want to go into the hype train?
I said one extra thought, one little thought. Because I feel like, you know, when I put in a DVD or Blu-ray and I have these previews and I have to deal with it, it's a deterrent to me. And, you know, you kind of brought up a point about, you know, the Blu-rays being cheaper possibly than like the streaming price if you were to download on Amazon or iTunes or what have you. I'm wondering if these companies would like are, I don't say they're purposely using these as a deterrent to keep you from buying Blu-rays and DVDs, but I'm wondering if they're kind of in the would like to see the push to the entire digital format, because
no, it's probably
putting money
more
out for hard stuff.
It's probably more of a like if you look at something that recently came out, it's probably $25 for digital download. If you're like, I was looking at Supernatural season 11.
Yeah,
and it's like $55.
Really?
And I was just like, holy shit! It's probably like $35 at like Walmart if I just were to run up there, and like it. But then there would probably be previews, whereas the digital version probably has none.
Interesting.
And I'll just wait and ask for it for Christmas, but it's just like because the price drops near to Christmas, but. I think I don't think any of this has to do with the previewers or companies wanting to push to digital, because they're not ready. If they were ready, then we would be here, but they're not. It's more of a how do we make money? That's literally what it comes down to. And there's probably a price difference because they know there are previews in that version, and that you had to, use up time and gas to get there.
Yeah.
But that is not entirely reflected in the price. That it's more of just there's a small price difference here, and probably a price raise on the digital side of it to
even
just
like
make more money.
If you actually own like the movie, stuff, it's almost like free marketing. Like if I've got a movie and you come over and you're like, oh, what's that? And you're like, oh, it's really good. They just made an extra $10. And then if you watch that movie and there's like 2 previews on there, and one of which you're like, hey, that looks interesting, maybe I'll check out that movie. They might make an extra $10 there too by, just having their image out there.
I'm listening. This is just semi-important.
I think that about closes things up for me, unfortunately. So I can try to keep rambling, muttering. I'm not going to start singing because I have nothing in my brain I want to sing at the moment.
It's fine.
Sing.
So, Hypetrain.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to kick this off, or I'll kick it off and then finish the message response?
Go ahead and kick it off. I got to think about something real quick.
So, I kind of talked about a lot of this earlier. Not getting the job is kind of anti-hype, but at the same time, not getting the job also gave me some introspective, where it was just like, man, I was really pumped for that because of the area, like maybe instead of just focusing on getting a teller's position at a bank, I could go back to that area, maybe even look at some of those small shops, see what's available to me, see if there's something I'm capable of working, because my pain level still is quite dependent on my comfort level. So... yeah, there's that, and I think this next week I'll probably hold off on applications for the week while I'm pretty into Stay of the Frame and this new Warframe show that I want to put together, the concepts for them, and also part of this is motivated by a bit of... I don't want to say weirdness towards this. Ambivalence. I think that's the perfect word towards this.
It's a good word.
2 or 3, maybe even 4 popular Warframe YouTubers have kind of come out within the past couple of weeks and been like, the game isn't giving us enough to continue our content, and... some of them are like, I'm looking into other content. One in particular, Mogamu, is basically, in a very dramatic flair, was just like, am I quitting the game? And it's, for me, a large portion of this is, one... no game should ever provide you enough to, one, make an entire YouTube channel around, consistent to the point that you have weekly, if not even daily content. Like, no game should be doing that. Like, It would
Shit,
be
dude, like
it would be wonderful if there was a game that's like engrossing, especially for people like me and that who might even find themselves stuck. Especially in front of a computer screen because they just don't have much else to do or that they can do. And again, I want to emphasize that like for those that don't know or even understand this, you can't understand this because you're not in this situation. You do not know what this feels like, and you can't even venture a guess. So anyway, so like don't. It's weird that like some of these people are like, I've been covering this consistently since this time, and it's just like, you should have taken a break. And I even realized that back when I made my first 2 episodes of Stay of the Frame, where it was just like, no, I'm on break and from the game because I'm just feeling disconnected from it and want to connect with this game and this game and this game, and that gave me introspection where I was just like, oh, maybe I should make the show seasonal instead of consistent. It's just like the shows have been doing this for a long time. This isn't a huge leap, but it's also understandable from the perspective of like these are my people, this is my following, this is why people come to my channel. But if you want to do something else, you gotta work at it, you should always be considering another game. I considered another game for a while. I just didn't do it because I realized it made me feel like an ass. Because competition just brings out the side of me where I'm just like, that bitch, things like that. Yeah, and I don't want to react like that to people I'm playing a game with or trying to form a community around. So yeah, that one has a bit of discord in it, where it's just like I'm hyped because I'm having these feelings of weirdness or ambivalence, and so yeah, it's just kind of exciting to kind of be getting back into doing this, and a lot of that was because we lost Reed, unfortunately. Reed, no.
He's alive. He's just not recording.
He's busy, and that was also kind of a thing of convenience because recording 0 frames per second was basically putting too much work on the editing side. Mm-hmm. So,
my turn.
Yeah,
yay! Sure. Hypetrain. I'm not sure if I know we just discussed not too long ago about Rectify. Season 3 dropped on Netflix about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, and finishing that up, actually in the middle of it right now, and I'm excited about that. And the new season 4, is going to be on Sundance Channel and probably some other form of medium October 24th. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's a great series. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. Next
I'm pumped
Saturday.
For you to finish that.
Yeah, I am too. Next Saturday, I'm going to a baseball game. Excited about that. Tigers and Indians. Which I need to talk to you about something about that, because I'll be in Cleveland on Saturday. If you're listening.
I am.
Okay.
Really?
But,
for Detroit versus Indians?
Mm-hmm.
So who are you staying with?
My friend Jen. She lives right near
someone you can attend the game with. I mean, that makes
she's gonna
sense.
go to the game. She actually has like these baller tickets, so I'm gonna stay with her.
You? Yeah, go ahead.
I obviously, because we can be recording, I'm not sure if I'd be able to stop by for a few if you want to record together.
Yeah, why not just do that?
That's what I was wondering. I'm not sure like how it works because microphones and cameras and such, or if I could bring my shit. I'm not sure exactly how I'd want to do that.
But basically,
what we
would probably do is just have 2 different audio sources. Probably have you. How tough would it be to bring your mic?
Not too hard. I can bring my computer, camera. I probably don't need the camera, just the mic, right?
Yeah. Just bring your shit, and okay. Let's hang out and hell, maybe even go get some food.
Yeah. Record, have lunch,
jack each other off. The usual.
Duh. Yeah. So that'll be interesting if we get that going on next week. Might be hyped about that. Yes. Basically, we're not going to wear pants during that podcast.
Exactly. You're wearing pants?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know. It's disappointing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Excited about those two things at this moment.
Nice.
Thanks
for the heads up.
Yeah, I was going to say something like afterwards, like, but since it came up organically, because I'm hyped about going to the game, and I'll be in Cleveland, and Sunday sometime I'll stop by your place, and we'll.
Ironically, we were recently down there, actually in the city, and I gotta give it to them. They really are doing I'm not the biggest Cleveland fan, having lived here for so long. The city has always been like, oh man, we're on the up and up, and it's just like, nah, not really. But yeah, went to one of the schools downtown for a bit in between colleges, and being down there recently and just kind of seeing everything, they are actually doing a really good job turning the city around, and it really had a nice nightlife, and I wasn't down there for the nightlife. We were just picking somebody up. And yeah, it was nice. So
I've
enjoyed
been to Cleveland, I think, just a small handful of times, and I've enjoyed it every time. I've actually been into the downtown area, and where my friend lives, where I'll be staying at her place. She, I guess, apparently seems to live right in the middle of everything. So, nightlife, bars, and stuff like that. So, next Sunday, I'll see if I can not be hungover.
The thing about cities is, when you live in them, you see a lot more of the city, whereas it's just when somebody visits, it's just they see a street.
Right.
So it's just oh yeah, Cleveland's awesome, you should move there. And then that person moves there and they're just like, why?
This is awful.
So yeah, Cleveland.
Yeah.
We'll see you guys in the topic.